Hello everyone, Krydax here, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program RP-1. In our last episode, we spent a lot of time designing and figuring out and simulating and planning our lunar impactor mission, the Cobalt 1, and I am happy to say that we got some good stuff going. I did test this. At the end of the last episode, we had removed all the boosters, and I tested it with no boosters, and it kind of almost worked. It was a little bit short on Delta V just because the, what's it called? The SLT of this stage, especially when, we had it pumped all the way up to 135 seconds here. The SLT is only 1.37, which means we have quite a few gravity losses that we're building up because of how slow that stage is. And because of that, we ended up with we were about 100 short. So instead, I decided to make this shorter and add the boosters back in. So we've got what we need at about 55 tons, which is fine because we have up to 60 tons for our launch complex here. So no big deal. I also want to note, unfortunately, oh my God. I think I saved it before, so I'm gonna hit don't save. I did check, and our grasshopper series, high pressure aluminum tank. No, it's true. It's so bad. We were carrying 3.3 tons of dry mass in this stage when we didn't need to. 12360 Delta V could have been 12850 and 42.7 kilograms instead of 44.3. I mean, it's just crazy. We would have gotten 500 more Delta V for free, which means I could have had a shorter burn on the RDO 105 for a lower chance of failure. I maybe could remove an entire, where's the button? I wonder if we could have removed one of these stages completely. I mean, I'm kind of curious. We're not actually gonna launch this, but I'm kind of curious if we were to take this off and just have the one stage, but then do the proper thing down here for the aluminum gridded tank. I mean, I literally think, yeah, and go up to the 135 or 130 range here. We're still only 45 tons. We've got 12 128. I mean, I really could have made this work. Wow. And that would have made our orbit much more accurate. So I wouldn't have, I probably wouldn't have had the two failures that we had because of the residuals on these things and such. That's really crazy. Oh well, anyway, don't save. We are gonna test the Cobalt one more time, and we're gonna test the whole thing. So we're gonna simulate this, not in orbit, and then we're gonna do the lunar planner to have it hopefully get me a good launch window. And then we already have it plugged in to launch at the correct time. There's two ways to do this, by the way. If you don't get the lunar transfer mod, the other best way to do it is to actually just turn on your rendezvous in Kerbal Engineer Redux here. And you can see that we have a phase angle here that will change as we time warp around the planet. And you can just test it. What the heck? That was weird. I time warped and then I stopped the time warp and stuff blew up. That's a new problem that I've never seen. Anyway, you can just test it a couple times and see what phase angle here ends up getting you the correct, orbit with your launch. Obviously this one kind of does a little bit of work for you. I don't know what happened there. Is that going to keep happening? It's a new one. We've not had problems time warping on the pad before. turn it off. I don't know, it seems to be working fine now. Alright, flight time. That's the thing, is I don't know what our flight time is, but I just assume this is going to get us relatively close. If I launch in 20 minutes. It's interesting that it's saying 28.55 rather than 28.36. Huh. Seems a little weird to me. Why would we not want to do the 28.36? I don't know. I'm gonna go with 464 here and engage. Let's see if we get this right. Altitude of ascending node is gonna be 249. That sounds wrong though. Isn't the moon longitude of ascending node is like 2 degrees? Gonna do the wrong thing. Whoa. Why is that so loud? This is completely the wrong orbit. What in the hootenanny is going on? This is like not even close to the right orbit. Okay, so I don't understand what lunar transfer is doing. is the short answer. What? Is it telling me... Is this for when you're already in orbit? But then that doesn't make sense. Because it's telling you an launch now inclination. That feels like it's telling you when you can launch from the ground. But this is obviously not even close to the moon. It almost feels like it timed it to be exactly 90 degrees off of when it should be. Something's fishy here. I'm wondering what exactly is going on. All right, well, we're going to revert to launch because that, I think, is useless. Without understanding... Sorry, I should rephrase that. This is not useless. I just don't understand what it's telling me. So I should probably check on that mod. For now, what we're going to do is we're going to use this, which tells us the LAN that we're going to end up in. Longitude of ascending node. I like to say my acronyms, apparently. All right, and then... we want that to be, what was it? 2 degrees? Yeah, basically 2 degrees. So I can just fast forward a little bit. 222. I mean, this is where it actually is useful to maybe have the moon up, because I thought we were going to be able to use this lunar thing, but I don't understand it. I don't understand what it's telling me. Like, do I need the launch now inclination to be 90 degrees? I don't understand. Okay, so basically we're going to look at when this number is going to give us the right thing. What's the phase angle of the moon? All right, that's 250. We're getting closer. I mean, if I just do the math, we could do 184 minus 110. 110 less is going to be 70. So like 72 is what we want the phase angle to be. Oh no, it's counting back up. Uh-oh. Wait, now it's counting down again? Oh boy. Maybe I can't trust this phase angle number. Because the weird part is, like, you know, Kerbal Engineer's like thinking about my orbit, which like falls straight down to the Earth and back. So that's why the phase angle numbers are weird. I guess phase angle is always less than 180. Must be how it works. So when the phase angle is counting down... and we're at... let's go 1,000 for a minute here. There's 302. Let's try 110. 110 is not it. 100. 30 more degrees, roughly. There's 348. 351. 356. Okay, so when the phase angle here is about 70, what's it gonna be? 77 maybe? That's still a little low. 76. 75. Now we're getting somewhere. 74. Okay, let's try that. Woof. 3, 2, 1, launch. So that's important to notice. 74 degree phase angle. Launch at 74 degree. That's gonna put us into, yeah, it's gonna put us in the right orbit, looks like. I guess we'll see if it actually works. You know what, I can just store it down here. It's kind of, it's not that bad. It's annoying because I have to go fetch it, but then I don't have to like close it and open it constantly. Alright, let's fast forward here. Ooh, we need a little bit more pitch over rate on that for the real launch. Let's go to like 0.8. I had knocked it down when we were doing the no booster version, but now that we have the boosters again, we need a little bit more pitch over. All right. There we go. Interesting, the moon is like almost prograde from where we're at right now. That's kind of crazy. Is that... I mean, that's gotta be related, right? When going east... Well, I guess the moon doesn't actually have to be there, though. The moon could be somewhere else, and we would still launch at the same time. I think it's just happenstance that the moon is there. Because the moon could be... You know, if you think about the orbit, it's like the moon could be on the part of the orbit that's down at the bottom of the dinner plate. Back to my dinner plate spinning on the table analogy. You know, if I'm calling this the dinner plate, like the part that's touching the table, the moon could be at that part when we launch into the orbit. So yeah, I think this is actually just lucky that we happen to be launching almost exactly prograde towards the moon. It's really weird. I don't think that's your everyday moon launch. All right, so We're guesstimating 150 spare delta V, which is good. That's good news. Good news bears. Not one of them bad news bears. 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, and stop. Alright. And then at this point, we should end up in good orbit. We'll hyperwarp this. And look at that. Beautiful. 143 by 153. All for the low cost of 89.33 delta V. We made it under 9,000. And we got within 0.1 degree relative inclination. 0.061 degrees even. So yeah, maybe we could have done it without... maybe we could have done it with a spin-stabilized probe. Because I'm starting to feel like 0.061 is probably good enough that we wouldn't miss, you know, above or below the moon. And so we could just use the pro-grade little motors to guarantee. I don't know. We also have to have electric charge. But I guess since it would be a science core, I would be able to carry enough electric charge to impact the moon. Because what's 4 days of, let's say, 10 watts? Because we need the communicator thingy. So if it was 10 watts times... sorry, I need the calculator open in my other window. 10 watts times 86,400, because that's a day's worth of seconds, times 4 days divided by 1,000 is 3.5 megajoules. Yeah, we could have done that pretty easy. So we could have just put 5 megajoules on the thing and it would have been a done deal. All right, let's do this thing. So transfer angle needs to be 114, so 1 hour till transfer. Do I have 1 hour of power? Now that's the problem I'm realizing. My near-Earth avionics is pretty hungry. So first thing I need to do is decouple this. Watch it slowly drift away. But then do I need to be facing 67 watts? And I've got about 10,000 seconds left. No, we're okay. Because if you just add a 0, that gives me 670. And then we have 1,000 of those before we're out of electric charge. So I should be okay to not have to worry about the charge for one lap around the Earth. If we need to do more than that, we do need to face the sun. Praise the sun. All right, so we're going to the transfer. So warp helper, phase angle 113. Now here's a question for you science nerds, orbital mechanics lovers. When do you boost? Should you go slightly before or slightly later the phase angle? So the phase angle is shrinking. First of all, what is the phase angle? The phase angle is measuring angle from you to the moon. If you're east, then it's measuring how many degrees around do you have to go to get to the moon. I think. Because it's shrinking, because we're rotating around. Yeah. So you want it to be where, like, the moon, if you're on the east side of the planet, from looking top down. I say east, that's such a weird way to talk about it, but like if you're looking top down on the Earth, you're to the right. I'm thinking like math, quadrants, you know, quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. So you're to the right, standard position for trig angles kind of thing. Then the moon is just measured from standard position for phase angle. I'm pretty sure. So if you want the transfer angle to be 114, that means you want the moon to be a little bit more than 90 degrees in front of you. So kind of like that. Anyway, the point of all this, like why are we thinking this way? So the question is it better to launch too soon or too late? Or does it even matter? Because, I mean, let's think what happens if you launch too soon. So we know that the optimal angle is when the moon is at about, you know, 114 degrees. So it would be when I'm here and I launch, and it would raise my apoapsis to be exactly to the left. So the moon will be, you know, over there by the time I get there. If I launch too early, then my apoapsis would actually be behind the moon. And the only way I could fix that would be to like speed up in this direction to move my apoapsis this way. But then I'd also raise the apoapsis, so I need like radial to prevent that to just move it. Yeah. But if I go too early, or sorry, too late, I mean, then I'm out in front of the moon. But then I can raise my apoapsis a little bit further and stall to take more time and then fall back into the moon. So I think too late is better than too early. That's my theory. I just processed all that out loud, verbal processing. You guys might not agree. And you might know more than me, so let me know if that's just flat out wrong. But I'm thinking a slightly late transfer is better than a slightly early transfer. Because it's easier to slow down your trip to the moon and let it catch up with you. Yeah, that sounds right to me. That doesn't mean it is right, but it sounds right. All right, so that being said, it's basically transfer time. So now I just put that away. Smartass. Prograde. Give this thing a moment. Wow, is it gonna accomplish prograde while I'm spinning? Now that is impressive. I'm also curious how long it's going to take to kill rotation. Okay, it's not that bad. Okay, prograde. At this point, my phase angle... Oh, that's way worse than I thought it would be. Okay, well, let's try. Let's see how bad it is if we're like 15 degrees off. I forgot we had to do this whole turning thing. If we can get a moon encounter like this, then we'll know we can do it any possible method we want. All right, decouple that. Oh, I mean, we literally have an encounter already. Without even... Okay, so the moon is pretty generous, I will say. The moon is pretty generous. Okay, fire our engine. And yeah, a little bit more prograde is raising our Earth apoapsis so that it's taking me longer to get there, which is giving the moon more time to catch up. Alright, we're gonna slow-mo. And watch our moon periapsis descend into the core of the lunar beauty. Boom. So we'll impact it on the left side from the Earth's perspective. And now I just need to orient towards the sun. Sun down, execute. Go ahead and speed up here. Watch our electric charge turn to slightly better numbers. Okay, we still have an impactor. Kill rotation. Off. That's why we're not getting any solar power, by the way. And then we should just be able to kill, disable avionics. Boom. And now we'll guarantee that we complete our contracts. Do-do-do. Plunk. All right, this end is exactly away from the moon right now. Maybe I should rewrite this end away from moon. Or I should put it on the bottom, this end towards moon. All right, lunar flyby complete. All right, don't go too fast here. Now, I can't do anything because we killed the avionics, so yeah. All right, here we go. Hello, moon. Would you like a bowl of petunias? Plunk. Contract complete. Contract complete. I can't really read them, but got them done. Sweet. Well, Now, when did humanity actually do this in real life? I have no idea. And I don't care. I am gonna look it up though, I'm curious. When did humans launch lunar impactor? List of missions to the moon. The first probe to leave Earth and fly past another astronomical body was Luna 1 in January of 1959. Hey! Not bad. Oh. No, we're a whole year behind. And we haven't even launched it yet. So, okay, never mind. I thought we were in 59, not 60. Whoops. All right, let's tool this bad boy. The tooling cost is 28 grand. That's fine. We've got the unlock credit. Why is the unlock cost 128,000? Holy cannolians. What is that unlock, that ungodly unlock cost? Is it the Antares or the Altair or both? The Antares unlock cost is 85 flipping grand, partially because it's a new type of solid rocket fuel. 85 grand for that. Oh my goodness. 91 grand is just that alone. I'm also confused because that says Altair 1000, but then this one says Altair 21,000. But isn't that the same tag? And even math-wise, that's 5,000 plus 85,000 plus 1,000 would be 91,000. So that seems to imply that Altair tag does only cost 1,000, but why does it then say 21,000 right here? That's confusing to me. What else are we unlocking? Isn't nothing else new? Oh, I bet it's the probe. We're using better probe core or avionics, whatever they're called. Near Earth Avionics and the Science Corps, I think both. I'm using the new one. Yeah, 8 grand for that and however many grand for the other. Okay, so first we need to modify the LC. To add the fuels that are needed. Oh my gosh, we're going to the moon! To the moon! Alright, so 2 days from now. I can handle 2 days. Plop. Done. Go back to the VAB. And then... select the right LC. I about had a heart attack when that was still red. I was like, what did I do wrong this time? Okay. Hit the launch button. 98 grand for the Antares. Oh, the Mercury kick motors are also costing me something. Oh, and the Castor. That's annoying. Wait. But shouldn't that not cost very much to unlock? Oh, is it free? Oh, okay, it's free. It's free because we already have unlocked the tags. It just shows up in the list because we still need to unlock it, but it's free to unlock because we've already paid for the XM20 and the Sergeant Dev. I see. Okay, cool, cool, cool. All right, 98 grand, and then yeah, the Castor 1. Wait, but now this is saying... $2,200? Oh, gosh. Guys, it's this. I get it. I get it. The second unlock menu is for the configurations of the things that you're paying for. The first one is for the actual part itself unlocked. The second one is for the configs. Okay. It's all making sense. The Cobalt one is in the integration list. Our moon mission is in the integration list. When I started RP-1, we were launching sounding rockets in a cave with a box of scraps. Now we're going to the freaking moon in 40 days? Nuts. Nuts, I tell ya. Is it time to upgrade mission control? I can't even afford that right now. 412 a day. 539 a day. Maybe I can afford it. Once the... How much is the integration costing me? No, I can't quite afford it. Let's warp to like 20 days from now. And then surely Chernikov science is close. It's not as close as I thought. So can I upgrade this now? 422. But we're currently paying engineers a lot of money that we won't be paying them. We're paying them 313. Let's just warp to when it's done. And then we go down to 91. Which is like a third. Like 30%. Maybe it's exactly 30% or something. Alright. I'm scared. I'm scared. But that should be enough to afford now paying for mission control. Yeah. 111 days from now. Oh, leaders. All sorts of leaders available. Oh, by the way, you guys may have wondered this, and I've wondered it and then forgotten about it a few times. Should I remove some of these other launch complexes? Like, am I ever gonna launch a 1-ton rocket again? Probably not, right? I mean, it would be for fun, but not for like a real reason. And it's costing me $1 a day to have this thing. And the V2 complex is $6 a day, right? In per year numbers, we're wasting money here. I think I'll ditch the little guys and the V2 complex. I'll leave the light satellites because it's possible I still have a really light launch vehicle to put something in low orbit later. I don't think I'm going to need the little guys in the V2. I just like having all my bases covered. But I can always build a new one if we need it. Right? Because how much did it cost to build the V2 complex, right? Probably 5 times this. So if I don't use one of these, if I don't use it for 5 years, it's paid for itself to dismantle it, even. I don't know the exact math on that, but I'm going to dismantle the V2 complex. Alright. Oh, you can also slow down work on this if you need to save some money. Or you can speed it up if you have extra money. Alright, let's do the rollout. And now it is just a matter of launching it at the right timing window. This is where I'm a little... my system is a little tricky. Because I want to quick save and quick load if we make a mistake, but I also want the engine failures and stuff to only have a chance to occur once. So I think if we screw up a launch, each time we have a successful phase of things not failing, then I'm allowed to quick load that phase in future runs, if that makes any sense. So like if I do the first launch and I get the first 3 stages all go fine, but then I screw something up and then I quick load and then something in the first 3 stages fails, I'm okay redoing that because it worked the first time. That's my rule for myself. Somewhere between Iron Man and not Iron Man. Soft clay man. I mean, we're just good to go, right? I'm scared to hit the launch button. Okay, don't be stressed. Cobalt 1 is ready to go. Okay, we can do this. Thing number 1, rendezvous the moon. And we want to, thing number 2, ascent guidance. Thing number 3, check all my settings. Those look good. This is 464 unguided, no coast stage. Turn that off. Those are all right. All those numbers worked on the last launch. We took in our notes that we want the phase angle to be 74 degrees. So I'm gonna go ahead and quick save right now. And then I will fast forward to this being 74. And then hopefully we'll get the right inclination. Oh, and it gets to be daytime. That's nice. 74. And I've made a big assumption that like, here, let me just test this out. Does this give us the right autopilot results? Nope, not even close. Oh no. Oh, it changes. the phase angle that you need to be. I thought that would be a way to make it consistent, and it's not. Damn. I guess now that I think about it, that makes sense because... Wait, why does that make sense? These things are so hard to understand. Because where the moon is at is different based on where your spin is. So like when the moon is at the high part of the dinner plate, you're going to want to be at a different phase angle to the moon. Right. Okay, that does make sense, actually. It's like you need the phase angle not to the moon to be the same every time, but you need your phase angle to the... basically longitude that you're at versus like the moon's, you know, the bottom of the dinner plate. You need that to be the same every time. And I don't think any of these numbers actually are going to give that to me. Okay, well, that's good to know. So how do we fix this? Or how do we use this thing? Because this thing doesn't seem to be helpful either without me understanding it. So I'm going to pause the recording. I'm going to see if I can understand this little lunar transfer mod. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. It says this. Provides a GUI for lunar transfer planning for RSS. Select the expected flight time to the moon, i.e. the time from leaving Earth orbit to lunar periapsis. This defaults to 4 days. The correct launch inclination for immediate launch is shown. The next 2 windows for a minimum inclination, i.e. easterly launch, are also given. I just feel like this isn't working for me. Because it says launch now inclination is 59 degrees. I set it to 59. How is this orbit optimal for a lunar transfer in any way? Any more so than a 28.56? You know, like... I'm not understanding. I guess... Oh, because it knows where the moon is. Right. So then it's giving me an orbit. But then how does it know how many laps? I assume it's just guesstimating I'm going to take 0 laps around that orbit to intercept the moon. So if I were to launch now into a 58.6 degree orbit, then that doesn't look right either. That really doesn't look right. Because the moon's going this way. So the moon's going to end up... It moves about 70 degrees. So... yeah, that doesn't look right. I'm not understanding something with this still. The launch now inclination doesn't seem to actually give me what we need. Now, why is that inclination so crazy? Oh, wait a second. I think it just had a weird... Okay, let's try again with 58 and like re-engage autopilot. Yeah, it shouldn't have done that crazy dog leg. What is it doing? Oh, okay, there we go. I was like, what on earth? Okay, this makes more sense to me. This is what it's telling me. So it's telling me if I go into 58 degree orbit, then I could ideally probably within an hour or two, it's probably calculating within 0 minutes, you know, but because it's the moon, it's close enough. Then we could burn prograde right here, and that would transfer us to the moon right there. I think that's what it's telling me. That's how I'm taking this. But that doesn't quite seem right, because then the moon is gonna have to travel like over 90 degrees. What was our transfer angle supposed to be? Wasn't it like 114? Part of me almost wants to try it just to see what happens. But in 4 days, the moon is not going to be over there. I'm pretty sure about that. In 4 days, the moon is only going to go, about a tenth, a little more than a tenth of the way around, because this is 1 month, right? 4 days is like 1/7. So maybe it's more like 50, 60 degrees around. But it certainly isn't going to go that far around. Which, if I were to do this orbit, it would go to here. Definitely not going that far. I don't know. Let me know if you guys understand exactly what this exact thing is doing with the launch now 58 degrees. Is it just giving me... Like, is it figuring out after some number of laps it will be a good transfer? But that's true about any window. Like, I could go into my 20, whatever, I could go into this orbit, and after some number of orbits, then this part will be a good transfer. So if you're willing to wait, any of these could be good. So what makes 58 degrees better right now? If anyone has an answer, I'm all ears. What makes 58 degrees better right now? Is that a different 58 degrees? Hey guys, wasn't that going down the planet before? Oh boy, now I've really confused myself. Is this PVG that's been screwing me up? A minute ago, I swear it was going down this way. Which, now that I think about it, wouldn't be 58 degrees. Because inclination, by the way, if you want to know how to calculate it, you take your ascending past the equator, you draw the horizontal line, and then it's just the angle between the horizontal and your kind of the line you just made as you crossed over the equator, right? That angle is 58 degrees. So what it just did, though, was having me go down to the right, which would be negative 58 degrees. Isn't that what it just had me doing? Was that? And that's when I was looking at this burn, and I'm like, that is too far for the moon. Did I type negative 58? I don't think I did. Did PVG just give me the wrong angle? Maybe. Because this seems more reasonable. This actually does look like if I burn here, then that is going to be... Oh, that's so interesting. I think PVG was it was on drugs or something. Now I think it's giving me the right numbers. Okay, I feel like I understand this now, and there was the confusion a minute ago because I think this was giving me a negative 58 inclination, or it was just giving me the wrong inclination or something. Because this looks correct. This looks like an orbit where if I actually launched right now and on the next, it goes around the Earth one time, I burn prograde here, I would actually get a moon encounter, even though we're not coplanar with the moon. So I'm pretty sure that's what it's telling me. But what we'd prefer is this 8-hour window where then I can launch into a better inclination. So we're going to do that. It will cost me less delta V, and it'll make it more likely that if I make a mistake, we're not totally screwed over. It is worth noting that with this method, you're not going to end up in a coplanar orbit with the moon, which means your correction burn might need to be normal or radial. So if your method involves only a science probe that only has prograde control, then I would recommend not using this exactly, but finding a launch window when you can launch into a coplanar orbit with the moon. Because then you don't have to worry about missing the moon above or below and having your prograde or retrograde not do anything. Okay, so we're gonna go till that's a 5-minute timer. All right, launch now, inclination 28.55. 28.55. Engage autopilot. All right. And that is pretty coplanar with the moon. What happened last time? Didn't we? Last time I looked at this, the yellow line was totally crazy. Now it seems to be working correctly. I have no idea what's happened. I'm gonna quick save again. And I'm gonna launch. We're gonna do it. We're gonna freaking do it. Yeah, see, the longitude of ascending node is 0.07. That's pretty much what we want. 28.6. Okay, close the notes. Close the lunar transfer. Launch in 3, 2, 1. And we have takeoff. Liftoff, some people call it. I guess planes take off, rockets lift off. Blast off could even be another phrase that you use. That would be reasonable. There is a lot of blasting happening. Guys, this is the actual... We're not simulating anymore. This is the actual contract. The engines could fail at any time. In fact, our RDO-105 has a scary high chance of failing, I will say. There's like a solid 20% chance between the ignition or the part failure that it fails. And I'm hoping that the ignition penalty for Q... we didn't simulate that, did we? Because that doesn't show up. I maybe should have tested that. If that ends up being a huge penalty, I'll probably give myself that one for free, because we could have simulated part failures on to check that. I just forgot to. So that's a planning failure rather than a part failure. It does seem like that's going down, and we still have 25 seconds, so I think we'll be okay on that. Ignition penalty for Q is dropping. 15 seconds, dropping. Dropping. Oh, it basically turns to 0 just in time. Perfect. Alright, we had ignition. Now it's just a matter of lasting 359 seconds. Okay, I'm gonna quick save here again. And now is the time for hyperwarp, because this is kind of boring. And we're just watching for part failures. But now is also the time for screenshots. Let's see, let's get one with the craft in the sun. Maybe I can get a different angle. Chase? Is chase different than free, I wonder? And how is orbital different from the others? I don't totally know the differences between all the camera modes. If you can teach me, I'm willing to learn. Let's get a shot with this one. Maybe like that. Alright, back to fast forward. No engine failure, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Still need 190 seconds. Please, no whammies. Please, please, no whammies. Whammies, please, no whammies. 2 minutes. No whammies so far. 1 minute left on the burn. 40 seconds. 30, 20. We might actually make it, folks. We might make it into orbit. What's our ignition chance on these? It's only 91%? Oh no, I did not realize it was so low. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh no. So I have to get no whammies again, and it failed. No! No. Oh. Brutal. Brutal. Okay, what do I do to salvage this quick? Okay, slow motion. Let me think. I can think 10 times faster in slow motion. The only thing I can do is fire this solid motor now. Because otherwise the whole thing just burns up in orbit anyway. So let's do that. Should I wait to do that? No, let's just go for it. And this should at least get us into some sort of orbit. It won't be a lunar impactor though. Nope, it's not even orbit. But I should be able to get into the rest of the way to orbit. With this guy. I need to burn a little bit down because prograde's not going to do it. Please kill my rotation. Smart ass. Alright, thank you. And if we burn down a little bit, that should raise our periapsis here. Oof, what a crazy failure. What a bummer. All right, radial in. I wonder if you have a really high apoapsis, what's the optimal angle around your orbit to burn radial in to raise your periapsis? It's probably halfway between apo and peri, right? But I actually don't know if that's true. Okay, well, that gets us in orbit. And now I will point towards the sun. Sun, down, execute. And then we will just roam. We will roam the orbits forever, being just a relay. And maybe it'll do some science at some point, but that's it. That's all we can do. Disable the big fat avionics. It should at least get some electric charge here. Where's the moon? Moon is up left from the sun. So at least for now, this end will be towards the moon. Well, 14 days out of the month. If you think about it. Well, Cobalt 1, we hardly knew ye. Okay, new question for RP1 veterans. Is it ever worth it? I'm laughing at myself right now. I just dismantled the little guy's complex. But is it ever worth it to do this? And to go, you know, all the way Science Core, cheapo, like 10 kilojoule nonsense. You know, communication, make it even cheaper, go to 20 dBm or whatever. Go as cheap as possible, and then you go, yo, let's test this bad boy. And then you just do this, and you test it a few times. To get reliability data. Because that 1,000 data units already brings, it like halved our chance of failure. Oh no, sorry. No, I brought it down by like 1% though. Testing small. Or I should say light vehicles. Is that worth it? I mean, I have nothing better to do. So what do we save this as? Testing Antares. And now we need another Cobalt. Cobalt 2. How much does it cost me? 3.7, 9, 12, 14 grand and 40 days down the drain. Okay. Testing light vehicle. Hey, but good news is Cherenkov detection and the early Earth observational satellites program is done. I could get 150 reputation, but I think we already looked at it and there's really no point unless I was going to take the X-plane contract. But that pays less per year anyway. So, there's really no point. Because I can't do crewed orbit unless I have 3 slots, and I can't do uncrewed lunar surface until after lunar probes, so... And then the commercial one needs tracking station 4. Which needs this interplanetary communications. So, all of that has to be done first. But I should be able to test our Antares again. Open. Testing Antares. Probably should put like some fins on it. Or something. And I mean, I don't even know what else to do. We just need the ignition data. We'd like it to run for the whole time though, which probably means we want it to be slightly more aerodynamic. And then we'll rotate these by some number of degrees. This will probably spin itself to death or blow itself up, but let's go ahead and launch. Oh, what does it want me to tool? The avionics? What do we have for procedural S0 avionics? 3x8? So a cone. It's definitely a cone. 3x8. 300, 800, top. There we go. Configure. 5 kilojoules. All right, and then communication is still okay. So now there should be no tooling cost. This whole thing is only like 400 funds. Still gonna take 9 days. I don't know if this is worth it, like on average. Do you save money by doing this on average? Because it, you know, if you think about the expected value of not failing more expensive craft, you know, maybe I make my chance of success 3% higher. So that saves me 3% the cost of the neck. Like, is that worth it? I don't actually know. Don't really know. We're just gonna launch that puppy. See if we can collect some more data on this engine. It certainly is realistic to test things. Is it efficient in this video game? I'm not sure. But I think this might pay off. Getting our ignition chance higher and our failure chance lower seems like a good idea. I don't know. You collected a whole 1,000 data units again. I guess that's the max you can get per launch. So we can just blow this up, right? Where's the blow it up button? Oh, it ran out of electric charge. So we have to just do the good old-fashioned let it become a bomb. Somebody's farm is not happy. Alright, Space Center. We have slightly increased our chance of success to go to the moon. I'm scared. I'm scared we're gonna fail again. But what can you do? We're just gonna keep banging our head against this wall until it works. All right, Cobalt 2. Hopefully this one succeeds. It's got a much better chance of success. We've got 2,000 data units on the Antares. We also have more data units on the RDO-105, so it's less likely to fail. And these guys now have a 19-minute MTBF. Ignition chance shows as 100 because the ignitions can't fail on the launch pad. Though, I swear we've seen this fail on the launch pad before. Maybe the engine fails during the spool up time, is what we've seen. Okay, so now we have to do the whole song and dance again of the lunar window, which, according to it, is only an hour from now. So I'll warp to that minus 5 minutes, maybe. Okay. I'm gonna quick save. Now, if I pop open Ascent Guidance, and we say 464, engage with an inclination of 28.55, and it does give me 28.6, and the picture is not in line with the moon at all. But that's okay, because right here, I should be able to get an encounter. I think that's what it's telling me. Right? Yeah, I think it's just weird. The last launch, it just happened to be the right time of the month again. But this one, I don't think there's anything better I can do other than get to this part. Burn prograde. Yeah, I think we're fine. All right, let's do it. 3, 2, 1, launch. We have blast off. Proper separation. What is this, by the way? This extra line? I don't know what that is. Oof, those are scary looking. It always seems like something's gonna blow up. Okay, hyperwarp. I mean, what's crazy is we still have a chance of an LR-43 failure. It's very small, but it does exist. Our ignition chance is going to be 99%, is that right? That doesn't sound right. Also, can we observe how small my flight data is? Because the flight data that you collect is based on the ratio of runtime that you actually utilize. So because we've been, especially for the Grasshopper series, we were only running it for like 200 something seconds. We were only collecting a few hundred data units each time. All right, 94% is basically what we did. Okay. We didn't roll the natural 1. So we got ignition, but the chance of failure is 5 minutes. It's about 10%. And now these guys have a much better chance of success. But still about 5% fail, 5% fail, 10% fail. So we're still at a 20% mission failure. Okay, I don't love that, but let's fast forward and see what happens. According to this, we're still going to get the orbit we want. No failure yet. Minutes left on the burn. No failure yet. One minute left on the burn. 30 seconds, and I will slow things down now. Alright, here's a moment of truth. Can do nothing but watch in horror as the Antares fails again. No. No, it's not gonna happen. No more failure. Yes! Ignition! We have ignition! And no failures yet. Yeah, I mean, if you think about this whole craft cost me 10 grand, and we're ignoring the fact that it cost me a lot of time. I'm ignoring that part. But even just from a money perspective, hold on, I need to go slow-mo here. Slow time down, because I don't have forever to think. Even just from a money perspective, it only cost me like 500 funds to test one of these. And with 2 sets of ignition data, we lowered our mission failure chance by about 10%. And if this whole thing cost me 40 days, that's a pretty huge... I mean, I guess it's even more than that, because there's a chance of failure, mean time between failure of like 1 in 25. So that's another 4% chance that we lowered by having a test flight. So I'm thinking in the future, I need to be really cautious about not testing things once or twice to get a little bit of flight data. That flight data is saving money. And I think in this case, it actually might pay for itself amount of saving money. Now, our apoapsis is a little bit higher than we wanted, and our periapsis is technically not in orbit. Uh-oh. Thankfully, we are going to rendezvous with the moon, so it's not going to matter. So our time till transfer is 1 hour. I will go through the periapsis, but there's not enough atmosphere there to matter. Okay, I'm gonna quick save. And we're gonna go to the freaking moon. So step number 1 is time warp through our periapsis here. So I'll just hyper warp for a minute or 2. Kind of annoying. But what can you do? And then this time I need to remember that it takes like a minute or 2 for this whole thing to get oriented properly and to stop spinning. All right, now we're at the periapsis. Another couple minutes to exit atmosphere. Drag was micrometers per second squared. Nothing to worry about there. All right, 1394, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. All right, so that means we can real hyperwarp again, or time warp. And we're warping 1 hour and 3 minutes. So I'm gonna quick save again because I don't want to do that part. I don't want to do that part again if I screw something up. So now we're going to open up our warp helper. Phase angle 114.7, and we're going to give ourselves a lead time of 2 minutes. It's more important to get the phase angle right since we're not at the same inclination. So that part's kind of important. Okay, here we are. So now we will separate. We will RCS to kill rotation. What are they doing? There we go. That one down there is still rotating. That's crazy. Okay, anyway, all right, we've got 45 seconds to point prograde here. Getting a little stressed. Just a little bit of stress. Okay. When the button hits, we hit the button. 10 seconds from now. Don't need the warp helper anymore. All right, here we go. 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition. As long as we don't get failed performance, which is like a 1 in 25 chance. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. The moon rod will impact the moon. All right, we are within range. I should be able to do the rest with my motor, no matter what. Yes. Yes. Okay. I think this is what success looks like. I think this is what failure looks like. What the hell? Okay. Well, we needed to boost a couple minutes ago. All right. Interesting. So the transfer angle was wrong here. Why was the transfer angle wrong? Why do you guys think that was wrong? What? Oh, that's just... That right there is lying. Okay. Yeah, why do you guys think that transfer angle was lying to me in Kerbal Engineer Redux? Because I know the Kerbal Engineer doesn't always work perfectly with mech-jebs. Like, the delta V's are wrong about certain things because it doesn't understand residuals and all that, but it should... The orbital mechanics part should be correct. So why did it have the transfer window so wrong? Because it's really at the ascending node that we need to... boost. But it's saying the transfer is 6 minutes after that. Why? Why is the transfer 6 minutes after the ascending node? Maybe that would be more optimal if I was coplanar. Maybe the transfer angle is only for coplanar transfers. It's possible that the moon would be at the optimal, you know, periapsis, so I wouldn't need as much delta V or something. But yeah, we need to boost at the relative ascending node. That's what we want. So I need to go ahead and open my warp helper and say, well, it doesn't help me for that. So I'll do it myself. So we warp to relative AN. All right, 40, 30, 20. Wait, what? Oh. Whoa, why does it do that? When I start warping, it changes to saying 1 hour and 39 minutes. Very unhelpful. What is up with that? That's weird. When I go back to not time warp, it gives me the right thing. Okay, well, let's try this again. This time, kill rotation. For some reason, I have to click twice. We got 3 minutes still. I probably should launch slightly before, because it is 23 seconds of thrust. So maybe I'll launch like 3 seconds before. But it, you know, it's all a small enough window for thrust that it shouldn't change too much. Okay, rotation is killed. Let's go prograde. I guess rotation's not killed, actually. What? Why is it changing yaw for rotation? Something's weird with that calculator there. I guess I could have fixed the rotation myself, let's be honest. Alright. Kill rotation. Everything's good to go. We'll have it continue pointing me prograde. I'm 40 seconds from burn. Oops, I'm gonna quick save. Go to the map view. This should work. 20 seconds. I'm gonna fire at 3 seconds. Alright. Watch us run into that and blow up. That would be really funny. Alright. We might actually do that. Nope, we missed it. Okay. That was close. Closer than I wanted it to be. Alright. Apoapsis up to 30 mil, 40 mil, 100 mil. Should get to like 300 mil. Perfect. Perfect. Separate. And we should have, yeah, just about an encounter. So now we use our RCS motors. Perfect. Then we get a moon encounter. And we can thrust until that comes down to a minimum. See, this is what happens. This is why you want a coplanar orbit. See, we're going to go above the moon. So what we now have to do, and what's even crazier, is there's nothing I can do right now to fix it. Uh-oh. There's not, uh-oh. Ooh, shoot. Oh, shoot. Because we don't have power for very long. Uh-oh. Crap. So the problem is, what we need is we need a maneuver node basically over here that thrusts down. But there's no way, there's no direction I can thrust right now that accomplishes me having more, like, ending up closer to there. It's just not, it's not really possible. Because I'm encountering the moon's sphere of influence up here. We need to, like, lower that. I could try a little bit of radial. All right, well, I'm gonna quick save. I'm pretty sure this is doable with a little bit of faffing about. So I'm just gonna manually control this thing. Turn that off. What is happening? Oh, I'm still in slow motion. Okay, I was like, I know we have enough force to move things a little bit. Okay, so that's increasing our periapsis. What if we go up towards radial in? That is worse. Okay, so that implies radial out might be better. Oh boy. Retrograde doesn't do too much for me. So how's radial out? It doesn't really change anything. Let's see if normal does anything. Yeah, see, doesn't really change periapsis either. What I was worried about. So what we're gonna have to do is face the sun. Or if I had a maneuver node planner, which we don't, I could solve this by just figuring out what maneuver would fix it, point that direction, and then turn off the advanced avionics. But that's not gonna work right now. I mean, how much time do we have? Not that long. I just want to see the sun again. Wait, what? How are we still? Oh, we do see the sun. We're just losing power that fast. Okay. Are we far enough? You know what? We might be far enough on the trajectory now that we can handle it. So now radial in should do it. I think. Because prograde, yeah, radial in should mean that I intercept at a smaller spot here. Okay, that seems to be working. Oh man, this is an intense mission. I think we're gonna get there. We still have 67 seconds of burn time left. Yeah, I think we're good. Wow. Okay. Get that nice and centered in the moon there so we can have radio contact when we blow up. And then we'll point to the sun again. Well, that was a bit of a cluster. This is what you get for not being coplanar. Being coplanar with the moon is the way to go. I still don't know if there's the right... I don't know the right way to calculate that. Because the phase angle didn't do it, because the moon's in different places based on, you know, the phase of the moon, basically. And this thing only gives you the window to launch if you're willing to not be coplanar, it doesn't do anything more than that. So if you guys know the right tool, I mean, I'm guessing you just play with the time until you get the right longitude of the ascending node. Oh, wait a second. Could you just wait to the same time of day? No, because the sun's in a different spot. So it's not even a time of day based thing. Interesting. I'm sure there's a way to do it with all the different data that we have available to us. I just don't know exactly what it would have been. To have a consistent way to always launch into the orbit of the moon. Coplanar with the orbit of the moon. But hey, we've got our lunar mooner impactor. And unless I screwed something up, we are going to be the proud owners of 2 completed contracts. So I'm going to quick save one more time before we nuke this thing. And then we're going to time warp. And we'll just watch as the Cobalt approaches the sphere of influence of the moon. And there she blows. There she blows. Beautiful. I'm gonna wait till we get a little closer and I can take a nice screenshot. We didn't aim it properly. This end is not towards the moon. That's okay. All right, screenshot opportunity number 1. Something like this. There we go. Perfect. All right, get a little closer here. And there's our lunar flyby. 75 applicants is no joke either. That's a lot of money. That's like 20 grand of hiring money that we don't have to spend. That's pretty huge. All right. Here we go. Lunar impact is impending. Whoa, 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 whoa. Why the lag? Oh my gosh. That was weird. That was a weird, like, lag spike. And all of a sudden, like, all the graphics changed. So I think that's what caused the lag spike. But hey, space probe reaches moon. Though it was likely intended to impact the moon, it only got within 5,995. It was Luna 2 that achieved this. Beautiful. Okay, so we now have completed the lunar impactor contract. And we've got lunar orbiter uncrewed is the next one. So we've got 3 years to do that. No rush at all. Feeling pretty good about things now. I've got 3 years to do this. I need to upgrade the tracking station again, which maybe I should do. Oh, I was like, how am I making that much money? That's per year, not per day. Sweet. All right, well, we're going to call that an episode because we officially made it to the moon. How exciting. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, as always, and I'll see you in the next episode.